That's why it's so easy to have mercy for everyone else. I don't have any mercy on myself. I don't have any mercy for anyone else. I don't have any sympathy for myself. I don't have any sympathy for anybody else. You heard? Yeah, there have been times I've been down bad in life. And every time I was down bad, I knew it was my fault. It was no one else's fault. It wasn't because I was black, wasn't because I was born poor, wasn't because my mom was on drugs, wasn't because my father was in prison, wasn't because I was denied a quality education, it wasn't because white folks had done me dirty and were terribly racist, it wasn't because any of those things. It was because of me and my lack of merit or my excess vice. It was because of one of those two things, nothing else. You might say, Marquette, well, that's not true. Either way, I played the game like it was true. And I was raised, my grandmother told me this verbatim. These are her exact words. And this is not true, but I've always lived like it's true. She said, if you want to win in this world, you want to be successful, you're going to have to do things 3 times better than a white man. Because if you didn't, they're always going to give the decision to him. They're always going to say he won. If you didn't beat him by a mile and you guys come in and you beat him by this much, they're going to lie and say he won. Why did my grandmother think like that? Because she was a dark-skinned black woman raised in Lone Oak, Arkansas, the deep South, that cotton-picking South. And she was raised under segregation, tremendous racism. So in her reality, that was true. In my generation, that was not quite true, but I still played the game like that. And I didn't play the game like that against white guys. I played the game like that against all guys. Anybody who want to go up against me, that's how we playing the game. That's how we moving. Yeah, that's how we moving. And that's why when I watch boxing, every now and then, if my employees are around, someone's around, they're like, oh, that guy's cheating. I was like, no, he's leveraging all of the rules, and he's also leveraging the fact that the referee's on his right side. So if I low blow you on the left side and the ref didn't see it, that's not called cheating. That's called trying to win. This person's trying to win. He's trying to win. He's doing what he can do to win. And you know what? I'm going to do what I got to do to win. You might say, Marquette, that's ruthless. Absolutely, terribly ruthless. That's why I would never try to beat me. I would never try to beat me, win against me, get in conflict with me. None of that, because I'm going to go the whole mile to win. I'm going to do anything and everything to win. Absolutely. It's my actual personality, and I don't want to change it. Now, here's the thing. You got all these cartoon characters out here. These people, grown men acting like cartoon characters. That's why I laugh when people can't win in this world. Like, how you can't win in this world? It's so easy. What do you mean you can't win? It's so easy. I mean, let me give you an example. Respectfully, I pull up to a lot of places. Every now and then people are like, oh man, what do you do? Or they'll ask me these kinds of questions. I answer the question. And if I'm around, I got some time to spend. Whatever questions they ask me, I will answer. I'm not going to just be volunteering, like walk around giving advice like I'm Dr. Seuss. No, sir. But I notice that often people don't ask me the right questions. You heard me? They ask me things like, oh, can I take a picture of your car? That never crossed. That's funny, right? If you feel me, that's funny. Can I take a picture of your car? Sure, take a picture. Even the valet guy, this actually happened last night. The valet guy was like, do you mind if he takes a picture of your car? You tell him to stop. I'm like, no, it's all good, man. Take the picture. Which is to say that I'm successful and I'm happy about that. I would never be an unpleasant, successful person. That's stupid. A lot of them are. But no, I'm happy, man. Take a picture. Shit, you want to get in the driver's seat, man? Hop in there, man. Say it's yours. Put the door up, man. Say it's yours. I don't care, bro. Turn up. But here's the thing. You asked me the wrong question. Can I take a picture of your car? You know what the right question is? Hey, you look pretty young. How'd you get this car? Hey, this car's $170,000 minimum. How'd you do that? That's the right question. But no one ever asked that question. They asked something goofy like, oh, does this car have a refrigerator in the back? Yeah, it does. Oh, man, that's cool, man. Like, I hear it comes like, yeah, but you can see all that on YouTube. Like, yeah, you're asking me questions. Does it have a refrigerator in the back? Yes, it does. You know that. Are the champagne flutes made of real silver? Yes, they are. You can see that on YouTube, but you have me here. You could actually ask me a meaningful question that maybe one day you can have this. But they're not focused on the relevant things in life because they're not being serious. You heard me? They're thinking on a very surface level. Everything's there's no depth because they're not thinking with goals in mind. Like, for example, if you haven't taken Boston University, I highly recommend you take Boston University, because there's a lot of times people commit faux pas. They do things that are a little off color, and I could tell that they've not had good mentorship. They've not had wealthy and wise men give them guidance. I highly recommend you take Boss University. And right now, I'm specifically thinking of the etiquette section because your etiquette is really going to define your latitude in this world. For example, when people ask me things like, oh, how much did your car cost? Or how much is this hotel per night? Or how many miles do you have on this? What year is this? These are questions wealthy people don't ask each other. You're not going to ask someone like, what does this hotel cost per night? Because if you're wealthy, you probably would know because you have stayed in hotels like this or you know the prices. So you wouldn't ask that. But also because it's just not your business, right? Or you wouldn't ask someone like, well, what year is your car? Are you about to try to buy their car? How many miles on your car? Are you about to try to buy the car? These are not questions that are going to be helpful to you as an individual. In fact, they'll be hurtful because someone's probably like, is this guy trying to get in my business? Like, why is he asking me that? Like, I'm not trying to sell the car. Like, what does he care? Right? Now, if someone says, how fast does the car go? Like, that's a reasonable question. This is an exotic car. Yeah, it goes 180 miles per hour, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's a reasonable question. But a serious man thinks before he speaks. A wealthy man, a sophisticated man, sophisticated in a good way, they have proper etiquette. Etiquette is so important. It doesn't get taught in schools. If you didn't have parents who have achieved at a certain level, and sometimes they might achieve and be still unrefined, you don't have etiquette. Etiquette is so important. I highly recommend if you didn't get Boss University, you go to thesassin.com, you get Boss University, you pay attention to that etiquette section because these are the small things in life that kind of take you out of the game. And I've had times where etiquette took me out of the game. And if someone's curious, I could talk about it, but we'll carry on for the moment. Shout out to Don't Get Comfortable, writes, quote, they who have no central purpose in life fall an easy prey to petty worries, true story, fears all day, troubles and self-pitying, all of which leads to failure and weakness, period, end quote. You ain't never lied. Peace to the saints in a real way. Oh, yeah, by the way, shout to the ballers. Baller alert. Brian comes in with the biggest baller alert, writes, peace to the saints. Absolutely. You heard me? He said, look, let me clean this up and get on top. Yes. Shout out to Kyle. He writes, since finding the Assassin, I've become someone who gets called too serious. Thank you for all that you do. Peace to the saints. And if you listen to people, you'll come to know them. For example, if I hang around poor women who are poor and women whose families are poor and women who, live in that strata, they tend to say things like, oh, you're very demanding. They'll use this word every now and then. They'll say you're demanding. When I'm around wealthy women, I've never heard them say this. Why? Because when the poor women use the terminology of demanding, what they're really saying is your expectations and your standards are high. You expect the better things, the greater things out of life. You won't accept anyone not delivering appropriately. So what that means is if I walk into a movie, even if I paid for the movie and I'm watching the movie for 10 minutes and it's not good, I'm leaving. Oh, I don't even need a refund. Oh, I'm leaving. I don't have 2 hours to waste in this motherfucker. If I go somewhere and I'm in a restaurant, I'm looking around like, these people are really low class in here. You heard me? Yeah, I'm leaving. I don't want to be in there. Or if I order something, they bring it out wrong, I will respectfully ask them, very respectfully ask them to do it correctly. Just as I would ask my child to make their bed correctly, just as I would ask my wife to make sure that things in the home were tended to, just as I would ask my employee to redo a task that was not done properly. I expect it to be correct. And guess what? If I do something and it's not up to standards, I will redo it. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. I hold myself to a high standard. I could lecture to you for 10, 13 hours. I wouldn't say, one time. Pour out knowledge for hours, extemporaneously. But still, every time I speak, I always take notes first. Not necessary. My brain moves very fast. My language processing, excellent. But I still write the notes. It's a spiritual practice. It is a disciplined practice. It is respect for you, the listener, and respect for me, the speaker. I value your time. I also value how I represent myself and how I'm perceived. This is being recorded. I'm being immortalized. People can watch this for all time. Would I come here and disrespect the great name of Marquette Devon Burton? Of course not. It'd be embarrassing to hear me come on here stuttering or sounding foolish. Never has that happened. So I prepare. It's respect, it's self-respect, it's seriousness. People who are not serious, they're going to look at you and they're going to use pejoratives. derogatory terms to describe your behavior because it is superior to theirs. And when you display merit, what you do is you separate yourself from them, you put yourself above them, and they feel inferior. And people who do not love you, when they see you grow and fly, they feel like you're flying away. People who love you, when they see you grow and fly, they feel like they are soaring with you. That's why when I see the young men, whether they're good looking, they're well dressed, they're strong, they're accomplished, I feel proud, like a father, like a brother. I feel proud. I feel represented well by them. I love to see it. And when I see someone achieving less than they are, when I know that they're a great man, it bothers me a lot. Just like it bothers me when I underperform. Recently I was sparring with Haven, who's one of the saints in the city, and I hit him, I think, with maybe like 4 shots, 3 or 4 shots flush, 3 or 4 shots flush. And I was just like, bruh, put your hands up. Like, I'm annoyed that he's getting hit with these shots. Not to say I don't have quick hands or good shots or I can't be cunning, but it's like, you're a great fighter. I know you're a great fighter. Why are you getting hit with these shots? I'm annoyed at you underperforming. Yeah, I want to see you do better. Even if it's against me, I want good competition because I believe in you and I care about you and I know that you're a great man. There's nothing worse than seeing someone who's great be average, which is what most people do on a daily basis. We could all be great at something. In Boston University, that's one of the lessons. It talks about that specifically. Shout out to Dion. He writes, never do this, but after studying your content, I had to. Moved out of the Bay in my teens in order to develop myself. A lot of old peers ridiculed my decision back then. They seem to be stuck in time. Oh, yes. And here's the funny thing is that, smart people who are well-intentioned, they do not ridicule you. If they're close to you, they don't ridicule you. They question, they share knowledge, they give advice, they give support, but they don't ridicule. It's those low IQ, those low vibration, those wicked persons who have ridicule as an instinct. That is wickedness, just like gossip. It's wickedness. Shout out to Austin. He writes, perfect topic before I hit the boxing gym. Peace to the Saints. Shout out to Austin. Peace to the Saints. We were just talking about you recently when we were sparring. Nick writes, tuition. Thank you for being a serious man. Yes, sir. And you as well. And serious men can be trusted. That's trust is going to become a premium in our society. Recently,